These are the 6 AITA stories of the week. 6 people came to the internet looking for validation, and instead they were put on trial. Friends were betrayed, families were divided, and Reddit did not hold back. Welcome to the internet jury. Let's hear the cases. The other week, OP went to a friend's UFC night. He knew his role in the group, the funny, harmless fat guy, so he showed up how he always does, with homemade wings everyone loved. The host ordered a massive party sub, the kind meant to sit out all night while people graze. OP grabbed a normal serving early on. His wings disappeared before he could even taste one, which he brushed off because that's what sharing is. But later, hunger crept back in. He noticed the sandwich sitting untouched for a long stretch while people kept nibbling chips instead. So OP waited, then waited some more. When no one moved for it, he took half of what remained. Still nothing from the room. Little later, the rest was still there, and he finished it. Right as the last bite went down, the host's girlfriend asked where the sandwich was. Eyes turned, fingers pointed. She exploded, calling him selfish and disgusting for eating so much. OP tried to explain the waiting, the wings, the assumption no one wanted it. She shut that down fast, saying sharing does not mean one person takes most of it. When OP offered to replace the food, she said it didn't matter because the sub came from her friend's local shop. The night never recovered. The next morning, OP woke up to texts saying he embarrassed himself and needs to get his behavior under control. Now he's sitting there wondering if he really crossed a line or if he just became the easiest target in the room. And this one starts with a sink full of water and a marriage full of tension. The other day, OP got home after picking up her young son and jumped straight into cleaning laundry and dinner when she discovered a leak soaking everything under the kitchen sink. Not knowing how to fix it, she did what she could and kept moving, trying to hold the evening together. When her husband walked in, OP immediately asked him to check the sink. He sighed, and that sound alone hit a nerve. As he knelt down to fix it, he stopped her mid-explanation and asked to rewind the moment, saying he wanted a greeting, a check-in, and a calm night instead of another problem to solve. OP, already overwhelmed, felt dismissed. He fixed the leak quickly, but each time she tried to speak, he cut her off, then walked away to spend time with their son. Later, OP said she felt completely unsupported. He said she made him feel invisible, like his day and feelings did not matter at all. Now he says she takes her stress out on him. She says she just needed help. The other week, OP agreed to be a bridesmaid for her older sister Emily, not because they were close, but because their mom begged. Growing up, Emily was the golden child, and OP was always compared, corrected, and quietly diminished. During a small bachelorette weekend, OP went downstairs late to grab a charger. She stopped on the stairs when she heard Emily laughing with her maid of honor. Emily said she only included OP to keep their mom quiet, complained that OP always ruins things, and joked that standing next to her would make Emily look better. The friend laughed. Emily agreed. OP stood there frozen, realizing every insecurity she carried was being mocked behind her back. OP stayed silent until they got home. Then she stepped down from the wedding without explaining. When Emily pushed, OP admitted she overheard something that hurt her. Emily didn't apologize. She cried, blamed the alcohol, and said OP was dramatic. Their parents took Emily's side. Then Emily showed up at OP's apartment. She admitted she remembered what she said, claimed it was taken out of context, called the insult a joke, and said she wouldn't apologize because she did nothing wrong. When OP stood firm, Emily accused her of jealousy and snapped that OP should be grateful she was included at all. Later, a cousin confirmed the truth was even uglier, including jokes about cropping OP out of photos. Now OP is officially out, blocked by her sister, and blamed by her family for destroying everything. The other week, OP revealed that he and his twin sister share a birthday but not a father, because their moms slept with 2 men close together and DNA settled it. His sister's dad stepped up immediately, while OP's biological father fought responsibility so hard he had to be dragged into court and still found ways to disappear. One twin grew up with a dad, the other watched from the doorway. When they were little, OP would cry every time his sister left for her dad's house. Their mom couldn't stand it, so she took the issue to a judge. The ruling forced the man to include OP on major outings and holidays, even though he and his family made it painfully clear OP was unwanted. Years passed, and the silence, the cold looks, and the obligation never softened. OP finally told his mom to stop the fight, to stop forcing him into rooms where no one wanted him. She said he deserved inclusion, and OP said she was chasing something only she wanted. OP had been friends with John since high school, long before his wife Jane ever entered the picture. They all went to college together, married, stayed close, and for years it felt like the perfect friend group that actually survived adulthood. Then the other night, OP's husband got a call. He turned pale, said he couldn't explain, apologized, and left. OP saw John's name on his phone and spent hours awake, imagining everything that could possibly be worse than the silence. The truth finally surfaced. Jane had been cheating on John, using drugs, and quietly had a hysterectomy witout telling him, all while they were trying for a baby he desperately wanted. John gathered the guys to tell them everything, while Jane was supposed to tell OP and the girls. Except she took drugs and passed out before she could. OP confronted John, furious that her husband had been put in a position to lie to her. John's explanation was chillingly casual. He said Jane could have OP in the divorce because she had no one else. That was the moment OP realized she was being treated like property, not a person. Jane knew OP had lost family to addiction, knew this betrayal would be unforgivable, and still hid it for years. Now John says OP needs to support Jane, but only invites OP's husband out, never OP. 6 months later, the group is fractured, and OP is the only friend Jane asked to keep. So now OP has to decide if loyalty means standing by someone she no longer respects, or walking away and letting Jane start over alone. The other year, OP and his wife had a holiday tradition where they baked and frosted Christmas cookies with friends, then handed them out like edible goodwill. Every single time, OP's wife took full control of the baking, insisting she was the only one who could do it properly, while everyone else got the fun job of frosting. It was exhausting. It lasted deep into the night, and it was always her system. The other week, she couldn't make it. She was genuinely sad about missing the tradition, so OP said he would handle the baking himself. She laughed it off, assumed he was joking, and sent him off with a sarcastic good luck. OP did not joke. He started testing batches, rearranging the kitchen, timing bake cycles, adjusting thickness, swapping ingredients, and optimizing everything for speed without ruining taste. By the time friends arrived, OP had a full operation running. Instructions were clear, the system tightened fast, and cookies started pouring out nonstop. Then something happened that had never happened before. They ran out of ingredients. Multiple store runs later, the cookie operation kept going. When everyone finally collapsed from exhaustion, the group realized they had made 5 times more cookies than ever before. When OP's wife came home a couple days later, she wasn't impressed. She said the cookies tasted strange, accused OP of spending too much money, and claimed he had deliberately tried to make her look bad. OP had already done blind taste tests, and no one could tell the difference. The budget increase was modest. His goal was simple efficiency, not competition. She said intention didn't matter, that he embarrassed her socially, and then she called him an asshole for the first time in their marriage. Now OP is wondering if success crossed a line. Those were this week's 6 AITA cases. Excuses were made, lines were crossed, and the jury is officially fed up. Drop your verdict in the comments. Court dismissed.